Hello everybody, my name is Johnny and I like to talk about games. Today we're analyzing the Starfield footage that we got in the Microsoft Bethesda show. We got a story trailer, a gameplay trailer. We're gonna be going over those here together and analyzing what was shown, what we're excited about, what we can expect, and really get into the details here. So this is gonna be a live analysis of the footage. Straight away we can see this may be the same engine, but the level of detail is a lot higher. And this is something that's really necessary because we're all super burnt out with the, Skyrim visuals. And straight away, what worried me when I started looking at this is that no NPCs were shown. And the ugliest part about the Bethesda engine is actually the NPCs. So I was really worried about that. But let's talk about what is shown here. We have a fairly minimalistic HUD. So on the left, we have our O2, CO2 levels. We got kind of our gun HUD on the right and health.
According to the scanners, the abandoned research facility is in this direction.
We have our generic AI voice there. And this is very reminiscent of No Man's Sky, guys. I gotta say, I didn't love the mech that we're operating right now. Just very reminiscent of a Fallout suit, just kind of replacing that. Nothing too exceptional there. Again, I do like the textures. The rocks and stuff do look great, and we see some great lighting here with shadows and all that stuff. The question is open as to how carefully crafted the worlds are versus being procedurally generated. Are we gonna be able to explore a large number of worlds? Are they gonna be kind of genero or are they kind of carefully crafted? That's gonna be a great question. It does seem like we can enter worlds and explore them, kind of like in No Man's Sky, but that's a careful balance to tread. The amount of worlds versus the uniqueness or the interest level of each.
The pirates of the Crimson Fleet are using the facility.
Here's where we get into a little bit of combat, and we're gonna see that it's a lot more fast-paced than Fallout, which is, I think, a very, very good thing. I loved Fallout, but the combat was not one of the strengths for me. I think this looks a lot closer to what a modern shooter looks like. And it's still fairly janky, don't get me wrong. I mean, the cover system, it's even very generous to call it that, seems very limited. Which is very reminiscent of Fallout games, of course. Here we have the mini game to unlock stuff, which is okay. I'm not unhappy with that. But again, here we see this is kind of reminiscent of Fallout as well, where you're just out in the open, you're tanking shots. The AI doesn't seem intelligent at all. What was that guy? I need to pause and go back. What was that guy doing? That guy is sitting on top. This guy doesn't even know where he is. I do like that when you blow up his jetpack, they kind of fly away or explode away. So when we look at the gameplay as the backbone of the game, it doesn't seem to do anything super extraordinary. It's very reminiscent of No Man's Sky, like I was talking about with, the resources on the surface of the world. And even though the combat looks a little bit better, a bit more fast-paced and responsive, I'm still very worried about how the enemies respond and operate in the world to try to fight you. It does seem very basic. I do like some of the weapon models, like we saw the shotgun there with that almost square design and the world and stuff like that. It actually looks great. So straight away, we jump into this like Citadel world, New Atlantis. This looks incredible. I was so excited to see this. This is like a properly populated area as opposed to Fallout games. and we start to see some NPCs. Now, they don't look amazing, but it is definitely a step up from the older Bethesda games or prior Bethesda games. We look at this, there is enough detail there for me to be immersed in the game. They're not gonna blow away anybody, I think, at this point, compared to what we've seen in games like Horizon Forbidden West or other like full-on mocap games.
As to what they are,
but to me,
what they're building,
this looks exciting.
You will be part of solving that puzzle now.
They don't look as dead-eyed as other games. It's definitely Bethesda-like or reminiscent, but I'm liking a lot of what I'm seeing here, like the cities and stuff. Actually excite me a lot. Look at this. This is like full-on cities with people walking about and not just 4 people in a settlement.
Told me that it spoke to him.
Of course, the settled systems is full of groups with...
There's a little bit of a backdrop to areas, quite a bit of uniqueness there.
The clique doesn't follow the rules. Agree to work for UCC Steph. Together, we take down these cutthroat pirates.
And the fact that we have jetpacks, of course, is a mandatory.
Guys, we're peacekeepers. We protect the people of the Free Star Collective.
When you sign up with the Crimson Fleet,
In a game like this, to be able to kind of zip around with the jetpack is just such a good addition. Okay, we got some zero gravity.
But we are not stopping.
Most Dusties don't even make it this far.
Because whatever lies at the end of this road will change humanity
That looks cool.
forever.
The fact that we may run into some kind of alien civilizations and things, that really excites me. And the other thing that we saw was some buildings. So let's take a look at that. And it starts with the character creator here, which I was actually impressed with. Again, given the limitation of the engine they're using, it actually looks pretty good. And I love the menu for this. It actually looks clean with the, you know, like white or near white.
As a diplomat, having a way with words might prove useful.
There are optional traits.
I really don't mind this at all, guys. I think it actually looks impressive. Okay, so you have some backgrounds. I don't think the backgrounds ever played a part, you know, in these games where you can be from a poor family or a rich family, but I don't mind what I'm seeing in terms of skill trees either. I think this could look interesting.
And there's deep crafting systems. From running research projects with resources you find.
There seem to be quite a few systems here to engage with, which is nice. The combat does look quite uninteresting to me, I have to say. So far, it's the weakest point. But the building here does excite me. As someone who loves base building in games, this actually looks pretty cool. Building a base like this. And then it ties into ship building too, guys. This was one of the big points where I went from pretty excited to like, whoa, okay, I want to play this. Is the fact that you can make your spaceships too. And of course fly them. So you can make your spaceships, use them to fly into different planets. That seems to be like, I don't know, it's No Man's Sky levels of awesome for me. As someone who does like No Man's Sky, by the way, and played quite a bit. I mean, that is something different than what we've seen so far. No Man's Sky, of course, a game that offers a ton that you can do. You can't really make your own ships, so this is actually something new that I'm excited for. So what do you make out of all of this? Do you think we're just gonna see the same old Bethesda combat with a new coat of paint? Or are you also excited about some of these things like the base building, the exploration, and stuff like that? Personally, I'm a little on the fence, but I'm really excited about some elements like the ship building, the base building. and going into planets and all that kind of stuff. The combat does seem a little bit weak for me, but I am excited to see more of this as we go into next year. This could really be one of my top games because I'm such a space fan that this just excites me. But if you want to talk further about the game, the best place to do it is Twitch, where I'm live every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Link for that down below. And as always, fly safe.